Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It is Friday, the 8th of August. This is my weekly recap. I put this video out there for free. Every day we do a morning setups video. We do a daily recap video. We go live just a little before 9 and we talk about setups for the day in our live trading room. And then we trade live all day long on Zoom and in Discord. If you want to join us, smartoptiontrading.com, link in the description below. We'd love to have you. Let's talk about this week while we're here and start off here. Um, um, David, right? We've had this trigger. We pushed to new highs. The last couple of weeks we've been chopping around, but here we are. The SPY continues to try to push back up. Yesterday's big down candle completely bought back. And this is the type of action we're getting in here right now. This very whippy, choppy, back and forth action. We got our 3% pullback last week, and the market's saying, yep, I'm good. 5 days later, here we are, just a stone throw from all-time high on the SPY. It's hard to look around and say, to be very worried. Now, under the covers, there's some things going on that aren't great. We're seeing the amount of names that were above the 100-day on the Qs dropping fast. There's some things under the covers, not so great. But right now, the markets are holding up. They're pushing them up on big names. The Qs, stone throws from all-time highs. The VIX, the VIX, beaten to a pulp. Bonds remain weaker, back down here out of play. Bitcoin, which we were watching, couldn't get to that 120 area. That's the level it needs to break. The financials, little pop today, but generally have been weaker and out of play. JP Morgan getting hit here. Talk that Trump's going after JP Morgan and Bank of America for action they took against him for the January 6th event there. So we'll see if that holds. Energy remains weak and out of play. When you look around and what's going on out there, this market's really being driven by a couple names. The semis, here they are holding in well, just off the all-time high. Avgo yesterday, an all-time high, back in a bit today. NVDA, same thing, just kind of sitting here. AMD, despite a report that was only okay, their guidance wasn't, what we're looking for, bought all the earnings weakness back. We got a little bit of a reversal back to the 8-day here as well, overall holding in. The big names like Microsoft, they've given the entire earnings move back. This is not unusual for Microsoft. I like to watch that 21-day area down here, just a little bit below here when we come to there. Meta, kind of hanging out up here, still holding a large part of that gap, still above the 8-day, looks good. Google was a great trade today. We caught this one, made a lot of money on Google with this big push up here, and it pushed into this big gap it's been sitting at now for a while, and we've been watching it like a hawk, and it's come up and tested, and it fills to the bottom of the gap at 202.81. The close is actually all the way up at 206.38 if it ever wants to go up there. So nice 1-day move there. We'll look for that continue next week. Amazon yesterday pushed heavily into that gap, down a little bit today, but overall holding. I'm still in my stock there above Thursday's high, more gap to fill up to there. Can run itself back up to this 231 area. They're coming back for everything. Palantir, this name has been on fuego after earnings on Monday night, new all-time highs today. This name just keeps pushing, pushing, and pushing, and no quit, new all-time high on a gap and go again today. You kind of get the idea. This market is a little bit relentless here right now. Hood, we traded this one today as well in the last couple of days. Nice 3-day move to a new all-time on Hood. There's an opening again, the S&P 500. There's a lot of chatter that Hood's going to take it. We'll see. This has been the same chatter we've heard the last couple of months, and it hasn't gotten in. We'll see if this makes up for it. APP had a good report. They're also on the chatter talk of joining that. I'm saving a couple names for last year, so I don't think I've forgotten about them. What else we have out there this week? Coin. Nice move on coin yesterday, but couldn't hold, remains mostly weak and out of play. What else we have? Gotta come back to Apple. I want to come back to Tesla. Am I forgetting anything that we traded this week? SMR had a nice move up into that gap, but couldn't hold it and came back down. We caught that on Tuesday. And, mostly been sticking with the bigger names because the bigger names that have been the ones that are mostly in play. SoFi continues to look good. This SoundHound this morning had a nice report breaking to the upside. Then there's Tesla and Apple. Tesla today, we have this 3-day move. It finally broke this big long downtrend in here and it's trying to push up. And I have another downtrend, which it came right up into here. And that's where it stopped. So Always draw these. You're gonna draw them a couple different ways, right? So we broke this longer term one and we came up into the shorter term one from the recent highs at 367.71, and that's where we stopped. Again, we'll keep an eye on Tesla. This is a nice move. And then there's Apple. I'm saved Apple for last, guys, because Apple had this huge move, traded this bunch of times this week, including after hours. What made Apple special this week? Well, because on Wednesday morning, Lutnick came out and said we're going to have an announcement with Apple today, and they're going to be investing in this country. So you had this big day movement during the day. They had the press conference that night where Trump gloated, and he got, I guess, Apple's investing 600 billion into the United States now, and Trump said, only iPhones sold in the United States will be built in the United States moving forward. The market liked it and we're moving forward here. And then today, I thought we'd sit here at the 200-day and rest, but you got this huge move. I didn't catch it today, but the room caught that. And you have this breakout move on Apple, and the first move we've seen like this in a long time. Whether or not that really is going to turn to be the case, and we'll see how much phones are going to go up being made here in the United States, it's irrelevant. Right now, the market's happy with it, and we sit with it. And if you look at it, it came up into this level here, and it can try to work its way up here. We'll watch the 237 area, then 240 to see if it really wants to wake up. That said, it's a little extended here short term. So we'll see. We'll see what the rest next week brings. Next week's quieter week. We don't have much in the way of earnings, and I hope you're all doing well. A link in description if you want to join me. For everybody else, I'll catch you in the room bright and early on Monday morning.